Hi, my name is Peter Vaughan, but 45 years into it is how long I've been studying the subject. But not just studying it, I needed to know how it worked. And no, Pythagoras did not discover numerology. It's way older. Now, with that and me finding out how it works, which has got a lot to do with biology, it really, really does. And so with anybody, any person, anywhere, I can tell you about yourself, somebody else, a business, the markets, anything, because it's all based on language. And when you study that, and then of course birthday, along with the person's name, we could uncover and help you with anything that you've got in your life which could be a problem. So petervaughan.net is the website. We've got some free stuff for you as well. So this little website address here, you can do it on your cell phone. Who's that? Spelt that way, .nz. And when you go to that site, click on that, and what you'll get is a little box at the top that says put your first name in here. And if you want to, put the second name in there, which is your surname, and then click report. Now, we've got some times, Krista.
We have Los Angeles, 5 p.m.
So Los Angeles, East Coast, 5 p.m.
Salt Lake City, 6 p.m.
Salt Lake City, that's the Utah area, at 6 p.m. And on the other coast?
New York, 8 p.m.
8 p.m. in New York. Now, I know you're going to have fun. The reason I know that is because of the TV shows and radio work that I've done in New Zealand. I'm actually infamous or famous for shutting down the entire country's phone system in the middle of the night because we did something at night on a radio show. And they couldn't get anyone out. No one could, everything was shut down. I need your first name. That's really what I'm looking. So if you're a Lois, for example, or a David, I just prep those up there. You put your name Lois in and then give me your month and your day of birth. So you could be June the 13th, for example, and from that is where I can come back and have some fun. So that's what we're going to be doing on Saturday, and we're going to be doing it for as long as it takes to get through. What do we need to ask the people? Krista, anything else? We've got a free
one for people to try. We've got one if people want more information.
Yep.
They need to give us their name, their month of their birth and their date of their birth, and ask any questions in the comments section.
Yep. Now from that, in here, you will get a report, about 28 pages. But the good part about it is you're going to get an overview of the year 225. You're also going to get a full overview of the year 226. So that's in the future. And you're going to get 12 months as well. So it would be interesting to know if you want to come on this live, which we're going to have some fun with. You'll be talking to me directly, covering your first name. I'll just give you an example, like the Lois time. Here I was once listening to the radio and I heard this, the Lois Club is having their annual general meeting. The reason I'm ringing is, I said, what happened to you when you were 19 that was a personal event, like something that you suffered or engaged in, that was personal? And she said, how the hell did you know that? So she said, I was actually engaged to be married and he shot through. And I said, wow. And she said, how did you know that? And I said, this is what I want you to do for me. Ask all the Loises what happened when they were 19 years old, and you'll get similar responses back. She came back to me. She said, that was a mind blower. They all had something happen.
So now, it could be a divorce, it could be a parent die, it could be a jilted at the halter, it could be any of those. It's just a big event that you will always remember.
Yep, that's right. Anything was personal. Now, on another side, I was in a radio station, and my claim to fame there was Sean Connery, the James Bond. He was on the same radio station and had a whole half hour in the radio network that time talking to New Zealand. And when I came on, they had me on for 1 hour and 10. Now that is unheard of. The guy behind the counter was Leighton Smith at the time. He just said he's never seen the fax machine, the email machine, or the lines as full as it ever was. Why? Because I was just talking to the people of the nation. And I mentioned, like the name David, I said, every David in the world, every David, when they're 27, when they have a major change in their life or living conditions. And he said, what? So he put it out to the nation. And the calls came in. Yes, 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 yes. It went on like that. So that reinforced that. How are you doing this? And he said, I said, look, it's to do with names and the analysis of a name, which is what I've done. Because not long after that, a woman called through called Kate, and she wanted to ask me a question. And she said, hi, Peter, it's Kate here. I said, hello, Kate, what can I do for you? And she said, I've just changed my name by deed poll. And I said, stop, Kate. I said, your father named you. She said, he did. How did you know that? So what I'm doing here then is, if you want to come on and see what goes on live, and come on through by putting your name and details in the chat box, that we can get up and see how many people we can get through. So the times for this, I'll be at noon on Saturday the 19th, which is the day after Good Friday. Now, we're in Good Friday right now in New Zealand. So you'll be at Good Friday, and it will be these times. We're going to be talking, just generalizing, at America, on the East Coast in California.
5 p.m.
5 p.m. And then we're looking about midships in America, about Utah, about Salt Lake City area.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. And on the other coast,
8 p.m.
about New York time, 8 p.m. So that'll be the time frame which gives everybody a chance to listen in and to call in, or should I say, put your information in on the YouTube channel under Peter Vaughan. Now, this will be put up for people to look at later, but this little short here is letting you know that we're doing something which is Fun City. If you want to see this, and you can ask any questions that you like, or get yourself a profile report. If that's not good enough and you have a real problem, you can book me for an hour. Now that's about $185 US at the moment. And I'm only saying that because it depends on the pressure I get. However, I've been doing this for a long time, and I will prove it to you that I'm going to be able to accurately do this recording or work for you, because I'll prove it to you before I even start. And if I can do that, that's when people like Bob Proctor, or that you might know that name. And is there anything else I've left out?
No, I think it's good.
Yeah, so all I need is your first name, your month and your day of birth. If you're born in June and the 13th, that's kind of all we need. So I would knock that down to the 6th month, and 1 and 3 is 4, and it kind of works that way. Looking forward to talking to you on your Good Friday at the appointed hours. See you then.